Hey, what's up YouTube? Press here. Hey, good evening and welcome to my channel. This is 36 Full Press, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the grip. This is we're going to be doing the Monday throwing, shooting, dice control, dice influence technique video. So I'm going to start it off from the beginning. Way that I'm kind of thinking about breaking this down is we're going to start with different variations of grip. Of course, it all comes down to what's most comfortable for the shooter. If you're not comfortable, the throw will never stay for the longevity purpose. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on approach. Welcome to 36 Full Press and Craps Nation, YouTube's premier craps channel. Setup and your grip, and what I mean by that is where you're putting your hands at on the dice, and then where your hand is at on the starting position to the felt. So that's where I kind of want to start with this technique day. You know, basically the shooting portion, dice control, grip, landing zone, all of that, right? So, and real quick, I don't know if you saw in the picture, still have a couple chips. I got a lot of them sent out. Actually, I just about ready to place another order for. I'm probably gonna pick up another 50 of them, so that way I have them. Link is in the description if you want to go ahead and make a donation for Hearts for Hands for that, and we'll go ahead and get it sent out to you. So, first thing I want to talk about, and check out these beautiful Craps Nation dice just came in. But anyways, I haven't even thrown them yet. The first thing I want to talk about is how you hold the dice in your hands, right? So we're not worried about set. I mean, I could give a shit what set you throw. So I'm going to try to move the camera around and move the dice around as much as possible. I like to kind of get the dice touching, right? I always take my ring finger, right, and I kind of push against that edge. So I kind of hold that there just to kind of get it started, right? Kind of tap it, and then I come right across. First thing I do is I grab right at the pips, right? See how I'm able to move that? I'm able to move those dice, and they don't come apart. They don't come apart. You see what I mean? So I just touch them right there, and then I bring these two fingers and just set them down nice and easy. And we're starting to come apart actually there. So one of the ways you can do this is see how I got my pinky kind of sliding the dice, and just get a nice gentle pickup on them. Because you're going to find out the more you throw, do you like to have your fingers flat? Do you like to make a small C? Do you like to make a big C? Or you're really cramping them? And that's going to determine, do you like to lay the dice flat on the table when you throw? Do you like to have your hands back like this, which I don't recommend? Or how I throw them is I get a nice little small C, put this part, the flat, between this knuckle and this knuckle of the flange, right, of the finger. Lay that flat right on the felt. Should be able to see that there. Lay it flat right on the felt, and then what I do is I control how much of this I incorporate into my into my throw. And later on, in more advanced, you could actually control your spin by doing that. So, as you can see, pinky flat, 3 fingers over top. This is a grip that I like. Thumb just barely touching, just sitting on the seam, just barely on the seam. Because I release with my thumb only, right? So my release, it looks like this. That's it. These fingers don't even move. So I like to get a set up here, and then I drop the blade of the dice down onto the felt. and then you create however much arch that you want to have in your hands. So I'd recommend getting a set of dice, right? Getting a set of dice, however you want them. If you want to do a 2-finger, one finger on the seam, one finger over top. You want to do a tongue grip, which is the middle finger in the back, right? So basically use a middle finger in the back to kind of plow into the dice. You take these 2 fingers and you just tap, right? So it looks like a tongue. So that gives you this. It gives you this approach here. So how I would do the tongue grip, if I was ever going to throw it, I have from stick, right, is get them stuck together, take your middle finger and make like a little wedge or a plow, right, and then take these and you just tap them. You don't want to hold them because your fingers are going to stick and you're going to pull them apart. So what you want to do is you want to get them nice and loose and then just let them go nice and soft. That's all you want to do. 3-finger over top, like I said, you pinch with your thumb and your middle finger right there on the seam. Reach down, take your pinky, push. Get your pinky pushing the dice towards you. Grab them, bring your hand back, and then set them on the felt. So let me go ahead and move the camera over here just a little bit so maybe we can get a different angle of what it actually looks like when you're on the approach. So this is how I set up my my dice, right? The dealer slides the dice to you, right? So first thing I do, doesn't matter what set. Well, we'll just pick one, right? 3V. It's already there. So what I do is I take the dice, kind of get them, where I want them. Take my pinky and push the dice, just like that. Push it, and then as I'm pushing it, I'm grabbing. Right here, I'm just using my fingers softly touching, barely touching. Scoop them up right to the felt. So this is very basic, but I mean everybody, you're gonna have to develop your own. You're gonna have to develop your own technique and your own things that you like, right? Based on your position to the table. If you got really long arms, if you're short, if you're leaning over. If you got a big belly, if you're skinny, however, your approach to the table. I usually have my arm on the rail, because I'm just kind of like down low, crouched, whatever. I'll get my dice set, 3V, safe, stick left. I'm just kind of touching them. Okay, so they're pretty much stuck together at this point, right? So then I just take my pinky, right here, these 2 fingers, just like that. Set them down, nice and gentle. These fingers are barely even touching. Just barely touching. Here, right to the felt. As soon as I touch, I'm going. Bam! It's time to go. Hand comes up, and we'll get into that later. We won't even talk about release today. We're going to talk about just approach and grip. So a couple grips that I would recommend to try would be, let's say, it depends on where you're at, right? So let's say 3-finger, of course, right here like I just showed you. 2-finger, which is a cool grip. Basically, instead of using these 2 fingers, you're using this finger, and I use my pointer finger and my thumb on the seam. But a 2-finger grip, I actually get a little bit deeper on the pips, right? I get a little deeper for a little bit more meat, and then I just bring this finger here, and then my right finger, or my ring finger, pushes them together. And the difference is I kind of canter my hand, kind of like my lazy man grip. I kind of canter my hand to the side. And the reason why I would throw a 2-finger is if I was going to throw like a 2V set, I would actually throw the 2-finger grip. And I would do it like this. I wouldn't have my hand like that. I would have my hand like this, and I would try to come this direction and try, like literally trying to throw the dice out. But that's why I don't really throw that grip. It's not really my favorite. The tongue grip. like I previously spoke of, I'll try it this way now, is you just basically you line your dice up, and then you take your middle finger and you kind of make a wall, right? So you're just kind of pushing them. So as you do that, you push, and then you take these two fingers and you tap, right? So say I'm going this way, right? Like this, I tap, just kind of get them nice and, because I don't want my fingers sticking. I don't want my fingers sticking to the dice. You hold on to them long enough. See that? You don't want that, right? So you just want this. So I want to be able to do that without the dice coming apart. So all I'm going to do is like this. That's it. That's all I'm looking to do. Like a scoop. Just scooping them and letting them go. Stick right. Bam. Right? Then, of course, you have the end line, which is however. I've seen people throw end lines like this. Like the tongue grip, but just end to end. I don't like that, me personally. I think if you're going to throw an end to end, you crimp the ends. This end and then this end. So I do it like this, like an overhand claw. I mean, you could do it 3 fingers. I'd probably do it 2. And then I would just shoot them in this direction. I've never noticed to have much control. I know that El Toro, due to like some wrist and maybe other parts of his body, shoulders possibly, I know he throws an inline throw, and it works really good for him. He's adapted and really made it his own. Not for years of practice and just his ability to read dice and hit his landing zone. I'm sure he's been able to make it his own way. I'm not sure if he does it like this. I'm not sure if he does it like this, because it's just, or if he does it like even like this from the front. He could do it from the front, which would make sense too. You know, because then you can get him traveling almost like this with a tail. You could get him the tail, which would be nice. So this is just kind of like my, I don't know, beginner approach to dice setting, dice control. I'm going to start out real slow and kind of hopefully pick up some speed, some pace, maybe be able to answer some questions if you guys have any questions. I know there's not really too many people that are actually teaching dice control. And without me actually having hands-on with you, I mean, I can do it through Skype or through Messenger, through video chat. If you have a way to like reach out to me that way, I coach a lot of people through Skype. But you know, even if it's just basic questions like, hey, you know, what do you think would work? Because I mean, if you got, say you got real meaty hands, right, big fingers, like the lazy man grip is great, and I'm going to kind of leave it. So it's a 3-finger grip, but you canter your hand down. Like you're almost kind of like grabbing it from the side, right? So you're just kind of, I don't know if you play a guitar or whatever, but you kind of have your fingers like this, right? So they're kind of in a slant. So you're just kind of lazily placing your hands. I mean, there's a million ways, but you have to be most comfortable. And I've been doing this long enough to realize that no one grip fits everybody. It just doesn't. You have to, if you're a good coach and you're good at instructing people on dice setting, you have to meet them where they're at. So I would look at your hands, I would look at how you hold the dice and like what's naturally comfortable for you. You know what I mean? I can just I do it a million times, but you just naturally pick them up. I know if they feel good. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think. Like I said, this is just, you know, the beginning of this. Just starting out on this whole journey, and there's a million ways to go about it. So I'm just going to start at the beginning. So a little approach, a little pressure to the felt or the layout, and then different grips, different choices. So we can break those down. If you have any personal questions about it, reach out to me, 36fullpress@gmail.com. And I have a 36 Full Press Craps on Facebook, Instagram, at 36 Full Press on Twitter, on Twitter. There's no reason you can't get a hold of me if you need me. We can figure out what's best for you and go from there. That's all I know. Until later, we'll get her done. You guys know what to do. Press out.